I'm going to start your reading right now for lovely Gemini. The first card you have your past is the Queen of Wands. Yeah, what's standing out to me in this card is the sunflower that she's holding. It's very, very positive. I'm seeing a lot of positivity in this card. And I'm seeing you coming out of a situation that really was not good for you. You came out of this really bad situation and it was very difficult. I'm seeing a lot of choices. I think for a long time you're at a crossroads. You were stuck with this choice, and I think it was about a choice between pushing for something, trying over and over again, or just letting this whole thing go. And I think in the end, after trying and trying, you did let this go. It was a huge relief for you. I'm seeing someone who, you just wanted to exhaust every avenue with them. This is someone who you really wanted to be with. You didn't want to give up on them because of them, but also I think it would mean giving up on an ideal that you had in your mind. You had this idea that you wanted to be with them and everything, and it was kind of the package, and you wanted the future and all of that. And you were trying to keep up a little bit of a facade as well while you were with them, a bit of a front. I'm not saying you're hiding things or you're pretending or lying or anything like that. It's just that you kind of wanted to give off a certain impression to a certain group of people, maybe your family, while you kind of tried to sort of sort everything out behind the scenes, because there are a lot of problems. And I think you had some family members who I think were kind of, raising their eyebrow at you a bit, and you were kind of just keeping all your problems behind the scenes and kind of fronting. And I think you just wanted to prove people wrong. You're a really determined person, but in this situation, your determination was a bit misguided, and you realise that later. You know that now. So I think, after a while, you just realised there was no point in putting all this effort in. You tried and you tried, and it just wasn't a stable situation, and they weren't a very stable person. There's a black cat on this card. You can just see the top of it peeping out. So cats sort of wander around. They're happy to be around you. They're fine. I love cats. They're nice pets, but I don't have a pet, but they're nice pets to have. But they can be a little bit take it or leave it. So you were putting all the effort in, and they were just a bit like this cat, sort of wandering around, looking a bit disinterested. It's like, I don't care what this person, are they here or not? Whatever. I don't care. So I think when you finally gave up on this, it just wasn't easy, of course. You had to let go of, them, and also you had to let go of a lot of future hopes and dreams and things you were imagining. And I think once you finally did that, it was total relief. I think, you could just get on with things without this great big burden and this big worry, because I think that's what they brought you, a lot of worry. And so then you were just ready to move forward and do things. If you look at this queen, she's ready for business. She wants to get on with things. She's simply dressed. She's not wearing any jewelry or anything, and her hair's just very simple, in a simple style. So you're finally ready to move forward and get on with things. You wanted to roll your sleeves up and just get on with it. So I think that's what you decided to do. And the next card you have for your past is the Seven of Cups. Yeah. This is a very confusing card. This is the opposite of the Queen of Wands. This is the opposite of being simple and straightforward and getting on with things. I think this is how this person had you feeling. Confused, totally confused. I think they're in and out a lot, like this cat, and you just did not know where you were with this person. You did have a lot of love for them, a huge amount of love for them. Look at all these cups, so much love you had for them. And I think you probably do still think about them quite a lot, but not in the same way you did then, obviously. You've moved on from them. I think in the end, you just didn't know where to put the love, where to direct it. You had all this love for them. You were giving it to them, but they weren't appreciating it. So you're like, I've got so much love. Where do I put it? What do I do with this? It was just so confusing. They were confusing you. You didn't know how they actually felt. One of these cups has jewels in it and another one has a snake. And you might have been thinking to yourself, what do I have here? Who do I have here? Do I have a gem or do I have a snake? You just didn't know. And I think the reason why they're acting like all of this was probably, a combination of a few different things. I think for one, they were confused themselves. But in the end, I think they just didn't have enough love for you. I'm sorry to say that. That sounds quite harsh, but they did at one time. If you're wondering, did this person ever love me? Was it all just made up? Was it all just a lie? No, it wasn't. They did love you at one time. They absolutely did. But I think toward the end, they just drifted away and they were just thinking of themselves and their own needs. That's what I'm seeing. They might have also been interested in other people as well, I'm sorry to say, but I'm just seeing that. So, I'm just really glad you've moved on from them. And, I think you can walk away from this knowing that you did everything you possibly could and nothing worked. So, it was just time. It was just time. So the last card you have your past is the Ace of Cups. So, yeah. Of course, when you leave someone, it's a mixture of different things. There's a relief there, to be away from all these ups and down emotions and everything and all the stress. But you loved them. You really loved them. Otherwise, you wouldn't have tried for so long. You wouldn't have tried and tried again and given them this chance and another one. So, you did love them. So, yeah, this card's pure emotion. There were tears, I think. But positive things came out of this as well. I'm seeing some things I think you created together, built together. You were the one who was putting all the work in, or most of the work in. Yeah, you might have even had a child together, because this can be about creation coming out of emotion. But it might not be that. It can be other things as well. But yeah, I think after you walked away from this, you realised you could just cherish what you had. What came out of this was beautiful, so you had something you could cherish. You could also cherish yourself without wanting the full package, without wanting the person. I think for a while you had this facade up. You wanted to look like you had, you and your partner and everything else, a family or whatever it was, or whatever you'd built together. And you wanted to keep that together for the look, for the sake of it all. And then you realised you didn't need that person. You had you. You had whatever you cherished. You had what you'd learned out of this. You had a lot of things, a lot of positive things. And I think this was a big thing you had to learn. You wanted this whole package. And, maybe on the surface it actually looked as if that's what you had. But you could see what was inside the package, and you had to live with what was inside the package, and it just wasn't enough. It just was not right for you, so you moved on. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have for your present is Strength. So yeah, I don't mean this to be all negative. You definitely grew out of this. Look at these cards again. Look at the positivity in these cards. The Queen of Wands is holding a sunflower. The tears in the Ace of Cups. They're growing some beautiful water lilies at the bottom of this card. And so as you came out of all of this, I think you could see a lot of positivity that was ahead of you. And I think now at this time, when you've come even further away from all of that negativity, you can really see that you can see how much you've grown, and you can also see how much you're going to grow. Because the lion and this woman in this card, if you look at them, they're bigger than the landscape around them. So you're growing, you're getting bigger, you're getting stronger. And this is emotionally and mentally in so many other ways as well. The other thing I'm seeing here is caring. Look at this woman caring for this lion. So I think you were caring for someone at this time. I think you still are. And I think when you finally moved on from this person and all this negativity and everything, I think it really helped you to be able to concentrate on this person you were caring for fully. You were able to give them all your attention mentally and emotionally and everything else. So that was another positive that came out of all of this. So the next card you have for your present is the Four of Swords, yes. So what I'm seeing here is reality. Being real. I mean, these swords might be coming down over this person's head, but it's real. It's like he's facing what's there. They're right in front of his head. You're very real now. Your life's real. No more pretending, no more facades. And also having to keep that up, that big facade, everything's fine, really, that was exhausting. It wore you out. So you ended up like this poor man on the Four of Swords, just exhausted, lying down. I'm also seeing, okay, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. This might sound strange, and I don't want you to be upset about this, but I want to tell you what I'm seeing. There's someone who's missed. There's someone who you miss. You miss talking to this person, and what I'm seeing is they're safe and they're at peace, and they didn't have a lot of peace in their life when they're on this earth. They had a difficult life. They had a very turbulent life. They're at peace now. I keep on seeing that. They're at peace now. They're a lot happier now. And what I'm seeing is they're finally getting the peace they wanted and the peace they deserved. I think this is a woman. I'm seeing someone who copes. They probably coped with a lot more than they should have had to. They had some difficult men in their life as well, more than one. But that's all gone now. They're a lot happier and they're around you. And they can see that you worry about yourself and you worry about the future. You worry about your future. But I think this person wants to tell you it's okay. It's all okay. You'll be okay. You're protected. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. You're protected. So just remember that if this is all resonating with you, if that makes any sense to you. I don't want to upset anyone. I just hope the right person hears that. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Just move on. But I think that's for someone. So, okay, so the last card you have here present is the Two of Wands. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of indecision in this card. I think this is about a love connection, actually. It's a bit mixed up. It's a bit difficult to read. Yeah, there's a connection. There's a love connection, and then there's a lot of things that are going on outside of that or around it. If you're thinking about whether to stay with someone or not, or if you're wondering what your future is with someone, think about what you went through before with this ex, because I'm getting this feeling of not wanting to fail or not wanting to look like a failure. It's almost like you're feeling as if the world's watching you, or that the world's watching your every move. So try to take everyone else's eyes and opinions out of this, even if they're just in your imagination. In your mind, I think you might be imagining and worrying about what other people think, or your worry might be that maybe you failed before in this other relationship, and if this goes wrong, you failed again. You haven't failed. Just remember that you haven't failed. If you think about this carefully, if you decide to put more work into this, if this is what you want, it makes you happy, and you decide to stay with this person, you haven't failed. And same, if you decide not to keep going, not to keep working on this, and you decide to separate from this person, also you haven't failed. Failure is doing something that you know isn't right for you in your heart. It's listening to outside opinions that you don't resonate with. It's going along with the outside world when you know it's not what you truly want. If this is resonating and you're at this crossroads that I'm seeing on this card, think about this very carefully, but think about it on your own. You have the Four of Swords above this as well. Get some time to yourself. Really think about this. But whatever you decide to do, if it's your true, honest decision, you haven't failed. No matter what that decision is, you haven't failed if it's your true and honest decision. And I don't want to talk about this again, but this is reflecting what I was seeing in the Four of Swords. The message there was that, whatever happens, it'll be okay. You'll be protected. So I hope that gives you some comfort, and I hope that puts some strength behind you as well, and behind this decision, if this is resonating with you. So the first card you have your future is the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I think, this person in the Two of Wands might be feeling this a bit of a distance between you, and this indecision that you're kind of thinking about. They're probably sensing that you're going through this and thinking about this, and maybe you've been a little bit distant physically, or maybe you haven't been in contact as much as you usually are. I think they're probably going to start to contact you a lot, text you. There's a feeling of anxiety around this. They might be feeling a bit anxious. I'm just seeing them, calling a lot, texting a lot, all of that kind of thing. So if this is all resonating with you, this whole thing, you're going to have to talk to them soon. That doesn't mean you have to make this decision soon. Take your time with that if you need to. But at least tell them you're struggling. At least tell them kind of where you are and that you need some time. Just let them know that. Be real. Again, this is the time to be real, because I think in your last relationship, your ex wasn't being real with you, and you weren't being real about the whole situation either, in a lot of different ways, in the way that you projected your relationship onto other people, onto the world. So be upfront, be open with them, be real. Again, they're completely different from your ex. They're totally different. They're a different person. But I am seeing some parallels between how you felt in your last relationship and how your partner feels now, a bit lost. I'm not saying you're treating them in the same way your ex treated you. You're not doing that at all. But there's a need for clarity here. There's a need to be, to know what's happening. So be upfront. You don't want to have them feeling like the Seven of Cups, all confused. You want them to know exactly what's happening. So at least talk to them. Tell them that you've got problems, that you're kind of struggling, and you need some time to think about things. Just tell them that, if this is resonating. So the next card you have your future is the Hierophant. I'm still seeing some pressure or some expectations. This might be coming from, this person in the Two of Wands, your partner, or it might be coming from their family, or it might be coming from your family, or it might just be how you're feeling internally. And the Hierophant can be about society's expectations. Sometimes it can be about organized religion. It can be about rules, real or imagined rules. It doesn't matter whether these rules are real or imagined, or the expectations are real or what. It's your choice whether to accept these rules or expectations or not. It's completely up to you. Look at the Hierophant. His ears are covered. He's not listening to what anyone else says or does. He's following his inner voice. So if you follow your inner voice, no matter what happens, you haven't failed. If it comes from you, if it comes from your true center, it's the right thing to do, I should say, not to you. Because often I was saying you, because I was thinking, you might make this choice and it immediately after that you might think, oh no, I've made the wrong choice. Something might happen immediately after that makes you think, oh no, I've made the wrong choice. But sometimes we make these choices and we don't realize what the true implications are until much later on. So I think if you make a choice that comes from your heart, even if after that something you think it goes wrong, it won't be the wrong thing. You'll find out much later on that, oh yeah, looking back, that was the right thing to do. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, take some time to yourself, be upfront with people around you, and then make this decision from your heart. That's what I'm seeing in that card. The last card you have for your future is Temperance. Okay, so I love this card. So this can be about creating a new situation, a better situation out of a bad one. It can be about alchemy. It can be about balance, finding balance. It can be about independence. I actually think this person in the Two of Wands might be a little bit more enthusiastic about you than you are about them at this time anyway. That might change later, but this is what I'm seeing here at this time. That doesn't mean that can't change. It might not. I can't quite see whether that's going to change or not, but this is the situation I'm seeing here. I am seeing independence here. I think you are going to want a bit of independence, at least until you see exactly where you want to go. And I didn't want to talk about this again, but it's coming up again. You're being watched over. You're being cared for. Look at this angel. You can't go wrong when you're being watched over. The key is follow your instincts, follow your true heart, and you'll be led in the right direction. Forget what anyone says, forget what anyone does, forget what anyone thinks. You do what you think. You're being guided, and if you go with your heart, you can't go wrong. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So Gemini, I hope this resonated, but general readings, as you know, can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do, and thank you so much for watching.